So after getting close to 30 different credit cards over the past 7 years of being in the credit card points and miles game and traveling to destinations that I never would have thought possible, I've realized throughout this entire time that I've actually been playing this game all wrong. And while these credit cards did allow me to travel to many, many different destinations over the years, I realized that my system has been flawed. And that had I known about this new system that I've been implementing over the past few months, and had I known that for many, many years, I would have actually saved myself a ton of money, a lot of points and miles, and I would have actually elevated and added way more vacations and destinations to my belt had I just been following this new system. But let me explain. So I think a lot of us have all had a similar story. When you first got into the credit card game, you got a bunch of different credit cards, right? Like I got a Capital One secured card because no one else would actually approve me. You end up getting some crazy looking credit cards just because they'll approve you. And you get some subpar cards that offer cash back, but not much in the way of travels and vacations, which most of us are in this game for. So basically what happens is you get those core credit cards, you use them for about a year, and now you have a 680, 700 credit score, to which now you are eligible to get these higher end premium credit cards that everybody on YouTube always talks about they use to get these life-changing vacations to millions of destinations across the world. So you go down that rabbit hole, right? You start watching credit card YouTube and you start seeing people with credit card points and miles and how they're using them to travel around the world. And so you start applying for cards like the Amex Gold card, or you start applying for the Amex Platinum card, and you start building up a stash of points across many different ecosystems like Chase, American Express, and Capital One. And then once you actually have those stash of points, usually one of two things happen. One, you end up never actually redeeming those points in the first place, and you become what's considered a credit card hoarder. So you keep those points for the long haul, and you never really end up using them until the second part, which is now you're somebody who does use them, but uses them in the least optimal way possible. I'm speaking from experience here. And the reason why most people end up wasting most of their points and miles is because they never had a plan for those points to begin with. Take me for an example. One time I made a mistake and I ended up transferring about 150,000 of those said Amex points that I just talked about to Air France Flying Blue. And with that, I really, over the course of the last 2 or 3 years that they've been in that account, I never really used them to the best of their ability because of devaluations and not knowing sweet spots and not knowing where Air France actually flies to and hubs and all those different things over the years. So once again, left without a plan, those points of miles ended up going in the most uninteresting and least optimal way, which is why I've kind of followed this new system that I've kind of thought about myself for the past few months, which is all centered around one specific sentence, and that is choose your destination and then choose your credit cards. And basically, what that means to me is that instead of just accumulating a large sum of points that you either are never going to use or it's going to be used in the worst way possible, I'd rather actually figure out the destinations and the vacations that I want to take first, and then work my way back and reverse engineer it to figuring out, okay, what is the best flight to get there in style, right? Business class, or what are the main hotels that look the coolest that I want to stay in at that specific destinations? And then what particular cards can I get to meet those goals? Let me give you another example of something I'm actively planning at this moment. Currently, I am booking an entire trip to Japan for 10 days. I'm booking Italy for a couple of weeks, and I'm also doing Puerto Rico for a little bit less than a week. And there may even be other destinations in the pipeline that we'll talk about in the end of this video. And since I did book this entire 2 week excursion to Italy and almost bankrupted myself with all the points that I've ever had, I spent about 1.5 million points on this entire trip so far. I realized that with Japan, I kind of had to start fresh. And so from here, I wanted to figure out what's the best flights that I could possibly do to and from there. What hotels do I want to stay in, and kind of work for myself from there. And so one thing that I found is that I wanted to fly Japan Airlines business class for a couple of different reasons. One just being that they have really good service from what I understand, really easy routes from the US and or coming home from Japan. And after searching on seats.aero, I realized that the points prices for these are actually really, really good. For an example, if I wanted to fly from Chicago ORD to Haneda, Japan, I could actually just spend about 60,000 American Airlines miles to fly that business class one way per ticket. So if I wanted to book 2 one-way tickets for my wife and I, that would just be about 120,000 points. And so once I found out that this was the airline that I wanted to fly on, Japan Airlines, and once I found out that the routes were very favorable, and I think that this would be one of the best experiences for my wife and I to be able to find 2 tickets on one plane. And once I found out that it was just 60,000 American Airlines miles, one-way ticket to there in business class, what was the next thing that I did? Well, you guys may have seen it, but I applied for the American Airlines business card. That would give me actually 75,000 American Airlines miles after spending like $5,000 in the first 5 months, something like that. So right now they offer 65K, but you get $0 annual fee for the first year. And that would be already enough for one ticket business class, which is like a $5,000 plane ticket. Not only that, but I also applied for the Barclays American Airlines Advantage card as well. That gave me an additional 70,000 miles for literally just making one purchase. That's all right. One purchase is all you need to get those miles. And now the offer is a little bit different. But with these two cards alone, I ended up getting about 145,000 American Airlines miles, which is already 25,000 more to get this goal done of flying Japan Airlines business class, either to or coming home from Japan, wherever I so choose. And if I wanted to fly there or back and I wanted to just do round trip, I could book another couple of tickets, business class fully with American Airlines miles. I would just need another 120,000. And that's why I'm also likely going to apply for this card right here, another personal version of the AA Advantage card, giving me an additional 80,000 bonus miles, which would pretty much almost foot the bill of another couple of tickets on that said airline. That was my goal from the beginning. Another example, I knew for sure that I wanted to stay at the Park Hyatt Kyoto. I mean, it's one of the most exclusive, hardest to book, most touted properties in all of the credit card points a miles world. And knowing that it is a category 8, a high level Hyatt hotel, I was going to need minimum around 40,000 points. But for the times that we're going during cherry blossom season, 45,000 points. And you're lucky to even find availability, which I was able to find availability and I do have one night booked and I'm looking to get multiple nights. And so with that and knowing that Hyatt basically dominates Japan, specifically Tokyo here where we would be landing, you could see there's so many different options for high level Hyatt hotels all across the entirety of Tokyo City and some other cities as well. And of course, I'm going to want to book that Park Hyatt Tokyo whenever it does open. Hopefully it does open. And so knowing that I want to stay in a bunch of Hyatts as well for these hotel stays in a lot of Japan, what did I end up doing all last year? You guys have may have seen on the channel. Well, I went absolutely insane and I applied for every single Ink business card that they would possibly allow me to do. We ended up going and getting about 6 different chasing business cards between my wife and I, accumulating close to 5 or 600,000 Hyatt points without factoring in referrals from you amazing people or just between my wife and I. And so with all of the 5 or 600,000 points that I was able to accumulate from these ink cards, I was able to transfer close to 400,000 of that over to Hyatt hotels, which allowed me to actually book a singular night at the Park Hyatt in Kyoto and many, many hotels that I'm planning to book very, very soon for Tokyo. And that's going to be covering that entire trip. And so I think you get my point with just getting a couple of American Airlines credit cards and a couple of chasing business cards, or even if you're somebody going for the new Sapphire business or the Sapphire Reserve. I essentially, by going a little bit hard for these specific credit cards, I was able to actually foot the bill of basically a 10-day vacation to Japan in some of the nicest hotels that you would ever freaking imagine. And so that is why I think it's one of the most powerful things that people can do in this entire niche is to not just let the points a mile sit, because there's going to be devaluations, there's going to be problems and changes, and there's going to be a lot of issues. But what you can control is what's currently happening today. What can you book today? What offers are available today? And allow that to allow you to book these fantastic vacations that are on your bucket list to begin with. But it takes a little bit more effort, right? You have to figure out the destination first, which a lot of us don't have. And if you don't have a destination, I understand. Build up your stash. If you're going to hit welcome offers, you have rent spend, and you could just funnel it all into new credit card offers. Yes, build up that stash. You're going to do better than anyone else who's not doing that, right? But I think once you're past like your first 5 to 10 credit cards, I think this is the real way to do it, because I didn't have to fuss about between millions of different credit cards, right? I made this entire trip happen between basically 4 different credit cards and maybe a little bit more. And I was able to foot the bill of this entire vacation, which is probably by the end of it going to be about a $20,000 vacation if you were going to pay cash for all of it, right? Which I think is absolutely freaking amazing and revolutionary. And like I said, it takes a little bit more effort, right? Because you can't just aimlessly apply and get a million different credit cards, even though it can be beneficial. It has to acquire a little bit more thinking on the front end, but it pays off, I think, in the back end because you have to figure out what destination do I want to go to? What airlines do I think would be interesting, right? You don't have an idea of what would be cool until you do some research. And I didn't either. I ended up talking to some friends and watching some videos from the great people in the credit card points and miles space. And I realized those are the flights that I want and those are the hotels that I want. And that's what I did. And so you have to kind of work backwards from figuring out your ultimate destination and let the vacations wag the tail of the credit cards that you're going to be getting. And I know of many other Hilton hotels within Tokyo that if for some reason I'm short on Hyatt points, I would like to book as well. Well, with that, what did you guys see me do recently? I applied for the Hilton Surpass card. In fact, we got two of them between my wife and I because they had an offer of 130,000 points and a free night certificate between the two cards for just $6,000 in spend in 6 months. Really not hard to hit. But with that, with those two free night certificate, with 130,000 points and a free night certificate, I was able to book this specific hotel that, like I said, goes for $2,000 every single night. I sound like a broken record because I'm just so excited for the stay. But once again, it was a goal. It was a hotel that I wanted. And I made sure to get the credit cards that I knew were going to get the job done. And those same points that I got from those welcome offers also got me one of the nicest hotels. In fact, the nicest hotel I've ever been to in my entire life, this Andronis Minois in Greece that I actually stayed in not too long ago. You can see some videos here. I also used the excess points to book this Grand Hyatt in Athens for, a quick trip that we ended up going to Greece, right? This was an amazing stay and amazing views. Let me give you another example of one that I have absolutely not booked anything yet, but my wife just made a quick comment recently and I've already started putting into action. My wife said she wanted to go to Bavaria. She's actually been wanting to go to Germany for a good amount of time, and she just saw something recently where she was like, wow, that would be really cool to go to Germany. And so after doing like a friggin' day's worth of research, I found out a couple of really cool things. One was that if I wanted to fly premium economy, because it's really not a crazy long flight, about 8 hours, I could fly one way direct from Charlotte, my home airport, basically to Munich for just 35,000 points per ticket one way. I could fly in premium economy, which is really nice, for just 35,000 per ticket Alaska Airlines miles. Or if I wanted to use those AA miles, if I had ones left over, it's about 39,000 miles for the exact same flight. And so what am I doing now that I've seen that this might be a possibility over the next 12 months? Well, that's why this offer came up, and that's why I'm likely to apply for this in the next couple of days. 80,000 bonus miles with AA, and I'm also likely to apply for the Alaska Airlines credit cards of 50,000 miles, which it was like 70,000 like a couple of weeks ago, so I missed out on that, or even the business version Alaska Airlines credit cards. So that would be 60,000 miles, and them two together would basically foot the bill of round trip tickets in premium economy, which I would be totally happy with. Once again, letting the destination wag the proverbial tail of the credit cards that I would be getting. On top of that, I also just applied for and was approved for the Marriott Boundless credit card of the new offer, 5 free nights. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment below. And the reason I did that and I got this offer, which I never thought I was going to get a Marriott Boundless card, I'll be honest. I was never really too into Marriott, at least at this time. But I was like, 5 free nights, all worth 50,000 points each. I wonder where I can use that. Well, did a little bit of research and I found out that Munich actually has a lot of different Marriott hotels that are all under 50,000 points per night for the actual dates that we would be considering going. And some really nice ones at that. You could actually see an autograph collection, which is typically a higher end version of Marriott's higher end brand for 52,000 points per night, which you can top up on those free night certificates. So I was like, if I could just guarantee 5 nights in this autograph in Munich or just, a Westin, of Sheraton, any of these, I'll have to do more research on which ones are the best. But if I can guarantee 5 nights in this particular country, and if I can cover that with just a couple of Alaska Airlines card or this city AA card, okay, that sounds like that's going to be a really nice trip. And of course, we just have to pay for the food and the excursions, the tours, all those different things. I think you get my point. Find a vacation, find a destination, find different flights that you would be in acceptable or you think would be aspirational, and go for it. Because, well, these points of miles are going to be devalued over time. These things are going to be changing from year in and year out. Is always going to be some sort of a devaluation. But what you can control is the places you're going to go, figuring out what it's actually worth today and start putting the plan in action, now, this month, tomorrow, today, right after this video. Get those specific credit cards, get that welcome offer, and then book that travel and then go take that travel and then keep going from there, right? We're always going to be booking out 12 months in the future, right? I have basically my goal is 10 countries in the next 12 months, and I'm pretty close to it now. Germany would end up making 10, I would say. And so if you have those crazy aspirational goals, you kind of got to go for it now. And I just think that if you follow this new system, I really do think that it is the most efficient way to get the job done. And so with this, I essentially have my airline credit cards covering the airlines. I have my hotel credit cards covering the hotels. And then for everyday spend with everything that does not fall under a welcome offer because I'm just not working on one at the moment, I'm just using my Chase Sapphire Preferred, literally not a joke, because I just found that with this card for all of my spend and basically just going to Publix like constantly, and I found that I could earn 3x points on the online grocery category just by going through Publix online system, but actually purchasing it in person with the in-person QR code, that I could just be earning 3x back on all my groceries. And every time I dine out, I get 3x back on dining. And basically, this is just my card that I use for all spends outside of just my welcome offers. And so with that, and actually eliminating most of my annual fee cards, like my Platinum card and Amex Gold card, any credit cards that had like an over $150 annual fee, I have since gutted because I've just been saving those annual fees for more cards like these American Airlines cards, Alaska cards. Instead of paying $700 for one platinum card, I'd rather get 7 new credit cards that have a $95 annual fee, and I'll literally save money and take more vacations. And that's why I outline in this video here the fall of premium credit cards and exactly why you don't need them in the first place. And that's why I'm going so hard with this new strategy. So I hope to see you in that video. I hope you get some value from it. I hope you subscribe, join the newsletter and the Discord, link down in the pinned comment below. It's free and offering insights just like this. So thank you all. See you in that video, and travel, take care, and have fun.